uh, after about 4 or 5 years catering at the Baltimore Grand, Ernest and I decided it was time to retire. And while at the Baltimore Grand, we had found this property that we're living in now, because we were still living at in Charles Towers. And so while we were renovating this property, because it wasn't ready for us to, it wasn't livable, and while we still were at the Baltimore Grand, we did the renovations and transitioned here before we actually retired and vacated the Baltimore Grand and transitioned to Howard Street. And this home has been you can edit it. This home has been really customized for our needs as people in the arts, promoting the arts, as well as a living situation. We love historic buildings, and we've lived in almost every historic area in Baltimore City, from Bolton Hill to Reservoir Hill to now Mount Vernon, and of course downtown. But and I guess mainly because it's the pulse of the city. Had we had younger children and we were raising younger children and all, maybe we might have chosen, you know, another environment. But this has been very good in terms of our growth and development to this point, you know, in the arts, and just our life of, I always tell people we live, sleep, and eat art, which we do, okay? And because even with the culinary arts piece of it, I mean, besides the fact that Ernest is a double amputee, he still rolls in his wheelchair, and he bakes and he cooks, and we have, you know, dinner parties all the time, or dinner meetings, or whatever. People know that they can get a meal here, and we enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing it. Always did. Even when I met Ernest, I've learned so much from him in terms of garnishing and just different things about the history of food and how it has changed names for trendy reasons, and you know, all kinds of reasons, but still basically the same. And he shared a lot about his background that he got from his uncles and his father and all, on that side of the family, who were who had mastered culinary arts skills, where the matriarchal side of his family were basically fine artists. So we finally transitioned from, we had sold our half of, because we had, towards the end, had partnered with another caterer, and we transitioned from Kromah Gallery to Howard Street. We really wanted to do something on a smaller scale. We focused more on smaller parties. We had purchased another building in the same block of Howard Street, and it was a tea room at the time. Tea parties were very popular, tea room and art gallery. And again, health challenges knocked my husband down. I had gone back and was working back in the school system at the time, and he had some serious vascular issues, and so could not maintain the building, and so we sold the building. But we still came back to Howard Street after he came through that period, which was about a year, with that situation with vascular surgery in his both legs. And he was in the hospital for at least 4 months, and then came home and had open wound care at home as well as recuperated. So it was about a year before we got through all of that. And so we decided that we would do small events here, have open house here, and just make sure that we had artwork available for people to come and see on an appointment basis, on an appointment only basis. And that did work for a while. However, we had to, at some point, regroup ourselves because, again, Ernest's health kept declining. And so we rented this house for about 3 years. We just came back. It's been 3 years since we have been back. We lived in Pikesville, and while we rented the house out, we sort of recouped ourselves, but then also he lost his legs during this period. So it was another period of adjustment and just how are we going to, really move forward, which we adjusted, and we are back. The tenants moved on. They did their thing here for 3 years, and our lease was up in Pikesville, and so we came back to the house. And while Ernest was recuperating from amputation of both legs and in short-term rehab, I was here with the supervision of my brother-in-law and other friends and male friends around us who had skills that could help to renovate this house to be handicap accessible. And so we basically were confined to this first floor because not only did I bring Ernest into the home, I'm a glutton for punishment, I brought my mother into the home, and because she had some issues also, and was in a nursing home, and I brought her here to take care of both of them. And so we have made the house very artsy. We have a healing suite. There's art everywhere, like I said, and we eat, sleep, and drink art. We do. I mean, is no medium that we don't use pretty much to create something. And so here we are. And then a year ago, my husband comes up with another vision, and we have the Kromah Reciprocity Project. And the future of that really, like I mentioned before, the Kromah Gallery is a member of the Reciprocity Project. The overview talks about more of the reciprocity part, which is the small business co-op and all the benefits of that part of the project. But Kromah Gallery is mainly a member of it. And so we have not really developed that phase of the project yet because we're focusing on launching the revival of Kromah Gallery, and we're launching it sooner than we thought we were after being approached by Dr. Leslie King Hammond, who works for the Deutsch Foundation and is the director of the Motor House in the Art Hub on North Avenue. So here we are, a few days away from the opening of this phenomenal event that's going to happen on Thursday, March the 8th this year. And again, one part of it is the history and the legacy of Kromah Gallery through documents that have been digitized, and then also footage. There will be footage of Kromah Gallery and all of the locations that it has existed in, as well as just where do we plan to go from here? Hopefully we have people interested in the small business co-op. That is the next thing we will develop, since we had the opportunity now to launch to the public that Kromah Gallery has been revived. We are back alive and well, and we have artists who are members, who are also volunteer associates of Kromah Gallery. So there will be membership sign-ups for those positions with the organization. And we already have built almost strong 20 people in the organization. And praise God for Bernard, because Be More Jazz is a member also. He is on our advisory board. We're building our boards. It's a lot being developed. We are associated with 8AC Foundation from Washington, D.C. We have a connection with Tendani, the owner, CEO of that foundation, and we're growing by leaps and bounds. And the future, to develop that part and to make a strong co-op, small business co-op, and make sure that these businesses have the support that they need to be successful. They do not have to be long-term members of that portion of the project, but they have to give back so that we can help mentor and groom other small businesses. There will be no group at the top gaining the most from this. It's a reciprocity project. Everybody stands to gain through their collaborations. It's a way to get rid of that crab barrel mentality. And that is what has stifled us building wealth in our community, of money leaving our community. And it shouldn't, because we have wealth, but we don't invest in each other. And so we're reversing that idea. Not to say that we are eliminating any other groups, but any other diverse groups, we're